Now at 9, Christmas is almost here, and that means picking the perfect tree, and farmers are ready for their biggest time of year. Plus, holiday spirit is in the air across the 4 states with Christmas parades marching all across local towns. And an Amtrak train partially derails near Chicago, leaving travelers standing on snow-covered tracks for hours.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Whether you get it out of a box or go to a farm, finding the perfect Christmas tree is a must this time of year. This is KYM News. I'm Anthony Saviello. With Christmas just around the corner, Christmas tree farms are gearing up to sell trees to families across the 4 states. KYM's Mitch Adams went to some local Christmas tree farmers and finds out more.
Christmas is close enough that you can already almost hear the jingle bells. This means that it's time to get the Christmas tree put up and decorated. But what's the difference between a real tree and a fake tree?
The biggest difference that we try to push here is the memories that you make. You don't hear many memories and people telling stories about the time they took the Christmas tree out of a box. It's always when they went out in the field, cut down a tree, or went through the pre-cut lot, chose that perfect tree, and took it home. So that's what we're trying to do here.
Many people may not know about some safety issues that come along with Christmas trees, fake or real, and what to avoid to stay safe this Christmas season.
The biggest safety issue versus fake and real, obviously, is a heat source of a real tree. You want to consider where you put that real tree in your house. You don't want it near an open flame, obviously for obvious reasons. Real trees are perfectly safe if you know what you're doing and you follow the guidelines that are there.
All in all, no matter what Christmas tree you buy, Johnson Family Farm says it's hard to compare the experience of finding that perfect real tree for your home.
It is about creating memories year after year. I mean, we have families come back year after year, and we get to see the kids grow up, and they tell stories about last year's tree, or it's a fun experience, and we really are wanting them to create memories that they can pass down from generation to generation.
Reporting in Webb City, Missouri, Mitch Adams, KYM News.
According to the National Christmas Tree Association, decorating trees is a fairly new concept, with many historians agreeing that it only dates back to the mid-1800s. Well, the holiday spirit is in the air in Carl Junction. Today, the community gathered for the annual Christmas parade presented by the CJ Lions Club. Lineup began at 1 p.m. on Broadway between the schools, with the parade kicking off at 2 p.m. Residents and visitors alike saw an afternoon filled with lights, laughter, and community celebration as families come together to enjoy the festive event.
Oh, it's just all of the fun and the people that are willing to help whenever it comes up. We have so many things, and I love the beginning of Christmas to help Carl Junction get in the Christmas spirit for the holidays.
Also happening is the Scam-In Holiday Parade. Holiday spirit continued across state lines today as well. The annual Scam-In Christmas Parade kicked off at 4 p.m. with floats, festive decorations, and even a visit from Santa himself. After the parade, families gathered at City Hall for refreshments and a chance to celebrate together. The event provided the community with a chance to welcome the holiday season and share in some festive fun. Let's go ahead and check in with meteorologist Donald O'Keefe for a first look at weather.
It was a cool, jury end to our weekend for our Sunday, but things are about to change. But let's look at our current conditions right now. 31 degrees, mostly cloudy skies. It feels like 22. It's definitely going to feel cold overnight, but things are changing for our Monday and Tuesday. Looking at our future track for tonight, we're going to see mostly cloudy skies, still winds out of the north, feeling a little bit on the colder side. But once we get to Monday at 6 a.m., temperatures are going to be in the upper 20s, but we're going to start warming up. We're going to see some sunshine start to pop out by about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Winds coming out of the south now, warming up to about 43, 44 for the area. Nice sunny skies and clear skies going into Tuesday morning as well. We're going to see temperatures in the mid 30s for our Tuesday morning at 7 a.m. So not too bad. We're going to see, like I said, a cool start to the week, but a warm up is coming on Tuesday, and we are going to track snow chances possibly coming by Saturday. I will look at those snow chances coming up.
Donald, thanks. Some Amtrak riders are sounding off after a train traveling from St. Louis to Chicago partially derailed. It happened today just miles from the destination. Cameron Bopp is hearing from passengers who say the biggest concern was not the jolt, but the silence that followed.
New video sent to First Alert 4 shows passengers climbing off an Amtrak train near Chicago onto snow-covered tracks. then standing around waiting for answers. Amtrak says about 250 people departed the downtown St. Louis Amtrak station around 8 a.m. Sunday. Around 1:30, part of the train slipped off the rails just miles outside Chicago.
No one there to help her.
Carla Euchman's daughter was on board.
She's heard stories but never experienced it, and because this is the way that she travels back and forth from school, she's a little bit more on edge.
Carson Pruitt was on the train as it partially derailed.
Just a light jolt. Imagine your friend pushed you on the shoulder a little bit.
Pruitt says crew members told passengers icy conditions caused some wheels to come off the tracks. Amtrak confirms this. Weather conditions, hot or cold, can affect your trip. And this isn't the first weather-related Amtrak scare in our area. Last year, emergency crews boarded a train that hit a downed tree and derailed, causing major delays. This time, it was those long delays and lack of answers that shook passengers like Cora Schroeder.
They didn't tell us what the delay was for. The conductors didn't come through. Even when I tried to get in contact with customer service, they're like, sorry, we don't have answers for you.
Passengers tell us it was hours of waiting and guessing. It's why Schroeder hopped off and called a cab.
We figured out how to unlock the train doors and then opened it.
Roughly 3 hours after going off the rails, Amtrak chartered buses to get remaining passengers to their destination.
Does it sort of make you rethink taking Amtrak going forward?
I think if it was my first time taking Amtrak, I would definitely be a bit thrown off.
Meanwhile, Schroeder says she's rethinking.
We were all kind of left in the dark. My parents are coming up here this weekend and they're taking the train, and I'm like I really hope nothing happens.
Still ahead on KOAM News, both real and artificial Christmas trees could be triggering your allergies. It's that time of year again. Unpacking holiday decorations and setting up a Christmas tree can be fun and festive. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither explains why you may be allergic to the holidays.
From dusty decor to your Christmas tree, if the holidays have you sneezing, you're not alone.
A lot of people have the predominant symptoms in the spring and summer and fall, but there are some people that continue to have symptoms or maybe even have worsened symptoms when they start to get that tree out.
Dr. Chris Brooks with the Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center says if your allergies are acting up around live Christmas trees, it's not from pollen.
When trees are cut down, brought to the house, in our indoor environment, which can be warmer and more humid than the outdoor environment, there can be molds that can grow.
As for artificial trees that have been stored, Brooks says those can not only expose you to mold, but also to dust mites, pet dander, and critter droppings, which can bother the noses and lungs of even folks who aren't allergic.
If you're allergic to mold, maybe not doing a live tree. Symptoms that patients get with non-live trees might be a little bit easier to prevent, because if you're able to clean off all that dust off that tree, that might help prevent symptoms.
When unpacking holiday decor, if the boxes look dusty, Brooks says having a mask on can prevent irritants from getting in your nose. He says properly storing that holiday decor can also help prevent future problems.
Mold thrives in more humid environments, so making sure there's not moisture getting into wherever it's being stored.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Well, if your allergies over the holidays continue to act up, Brooks says to talk to a doctor. There are plenty of options that can help, from medications to allergy avoidance techniques, allergy shots, and more. A bipartisan group of 24 lawmakers will unveil a plan to prevent massive spikes in healthcare premiums on Thursday. Sources say the 2-year plan would include a 1-year extension of the Enhanced Affordable Care Act subsidies with targeted modifications. The second year would include more significant changes as well as ways to offset the costs. The lawmakers want the vote to take place by December 18th. The subsidies are set to expire at the end of this year. Sources say many of the House lawmakers have been meeting with key senators who are also working on the health care issue. The Food and Drug Administration says faulty glucose monitors have been linked to at least 7 deaths and more than 700 serious injuries across the globe. The problems are with roughly 3 million Freestyle Libre 3 and Freestyle Libre 3 Plus sensors. Abbott Diabetes Care says it has resolved the problem with those products, but the FDA says ones that were previously purchased should not be used. Incorrect readings can cause people to improperly deal with treatment, with potential dire consequences. Donald is next with a complete look at your forecast, and later, a major federal incentive is about to expire and what that deadline means for your wallet and the new program that could keep savings shining into next year.
It was a dreary, cold, cloudy end to our weekend for our Sunday, but there is change coming this week starting tomorrow. Let's take a look at our Skywatch Storm Tracker current radar. Nothing really happening right now. We do have some lingering clouds out there. Those will start to push off as we go through the night. And you can see some clearing out to the west. That's going to be starting to take effect by tomorrow. So our current temperatures across the area is still on the colder side, mostly lower 20s across the area right now. 31 there in Joplin, 31 in Nowata, Iola. You guys are at 32 degrees. So still right around that freezing mark, but I guarantee you things are going to change once they get into Monday and Tuesday. So taking a look at our future track, this is tonight at 10 o'clock. We still have those north winds bringing in that cold air, but we're going to see a shift as we get to Monday morning at 6 a.m. Temperatures are still going to be right around that mid-20 mark, but those clouds are going to start dissipating by Monday afternoon, warming up to about 43, 44 degrees. Now winds are coming out of the south. We're going to have nice sunny skies, warmer air is going to be moving into our area, and then as we get into Tuesday at 7 a.m., still above right around that 35, 36 degree mark for our Tuesday morning. So a little bit better, but nice clear skies with a nice flow of southerly winds. They'll eventually warm things up. So if you're planning your day for our Monday in Joplin, 26 degrees to 7 a.m., start to see some sunny skies through the day, getting up to about 44 degrees by about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Downtown Joplin, Cornell, and Art Entertainment Complex, you can see those clouds right now. Those will start to dissipate as we get into Monday morning. And our temperature trend over the last 5 days, kind of a little bit of a roller coaster. We see 43 for Sunday, 44 for Monday, and then we're going to start seeing 50s by Tuesday. The warm-up is coming. And let's take a look at the upper flow to talk about why we're going to see that nice warm-up. So this is Tuesday at 12. We're going to see nice clear skies, sunny skies, bringing in more of that warmer air. That sun's going to feel really good if you're going outside. You're still going to need a jacket, but it'll feel a lot better. Even for Wednesday, staying on the drier side, still seeing some sunny skies, still some nice temperatures. Then Thursday, we're going to see a little bit of a change. A weak front is going to push in Thursday, but most of the rain and snow will stay to our north, but then by Friday you can see we're going to see more of that Arctic flow come into our area, increasing the chances for rain and possibly some snow showers even for Saturday as well. You can see a lot stronger of a front moving in for Saturday. That's going to start pushing out. Sunday we're going to be dry but cold, and that trend continues even into Monday as well. Let's take a look. Let's take a closer look. So Tuesday, temperatures in the mid-50s, staying dry and nice and sunny. Wednesday, same thing, lower 50s for Wednesday, and we're going to see some nice sunny, clear skies. But I have a cool event I want to talk about. There's a Gemini's meteor shower that's going to be happening over the next 2 weeks. It started on the 4th, and the peak is going to be between the 13th and 14th of December, and it's going to be active until about Christmas Eve. You can see up to about 120 meteors per hour, and the most impressive time to see it is between the hours of 12 to 2 a.m. We're going to see some nice clear skies over the next 4 to 5 days. You could see some of those meteor showers. Taking a look at our 10-day here, this is what I was talking about. This is why we're seeing that nice warming trend Tuesday, 55 degrees, staying in the 50s until we get to Friday when another front starts to push in and brings back those possible showers, maybe even some snow, but I'll take some 50s.
Yeah, I'll take the temperatures, especially with a little bit of a show for us and at the evening times with the meteor shower.
Yeah, you could see some nice clear skies for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Donald. We'll be back with more news after this. As the clock ticks down on a major federal solar tax credit, Nevada homeowners are scrambling to go green, and a new program could soon change the way families afford solar.
So we do about 7 to 10 installations a day.
Workers spent the day on top of and on the side of this Henderson home in the Anthem neighborhood installing solar panels.
Most solar systems can offset up to 100% of the energy production that a household can use.
More than 144,000 Nevada homes now have solar panels, according to an industry report.
The tax credits on the ownership side have been fueling that for a long time.
For many homeowners, there is a rush to get them as federal tax incentives expire December 31st.
30% tax credit, that's almost a third of the cost of a solar installation, which on average can be anywhere from $20,000 to $30,000.
The credit has been a big part of so many families being able to go solar.
Yeah, the tax credits expiring make it harder to go solar for middle income families throughout the state. because it's such a huge incentive, 30%, it often makes a huge difference in the affordability.
Nonprofit organization Nevada Clean Energy Fund is offering an alternative. Nevada Bright is a new solar lease program that allows households to benefit from federal solar tax credits even after the residential tax credit expires.
Nevada Bright is managed by a nonprofit, the Capital Good Fund, who is taking the tax credit as a commercial purchase and are able to pass those savings along to a customer who enrolls in the program. The reason that Nevada Bright exists is to extend those benefits and those savings for residential households into next year and beyond.
And this is what is going to help drive solar. And being a large contractor in Nevada, we need programs like that to keep it going strong and keep it enticing for people that do want to own.
Consumer spending slowed in September while inflation climbed to its highest level in nearly a year and a half. The Commerce Department says the PCE price index, the Fed's preferred inflation gauge, rose 0.3% last month, pushing annual inflation to 2.8%. Meanwhile, Americans pulled back on buying. Spending was up just 3.3% from August and flat after adjusting for inflation. In the wake of its announcement that it is buying Warner Brothers and HBO Max, Netflix is reassuring subscribers that nothing is changing, at least for now. Netflix sent an email to its subscribers Friday titled "Welcoming Warner Brothers to Netflix." In it, they say, quote, "Nothing is changing today. Netflix and Warner Brothers will continue operations separately until the deal closes." This was reiterated in a frequently asked questions section where Netflix said nothing is changing with a subscriber's current plan. Up next, a grandmother held by ICE for nearly 2 weeks walks free after a federal judge says she was unlawfully detained. Florida is allowing hunters to kill bears for the first time in a decade. The state approved the bear hunt despite objections from conservation groups. The hunt began on Saturday and will last several weeks. State wildlife officials say the hunt is needed to help control the bear population. They have issued more than 170 bear hunting permits. Hunters can kill one bear per permit. Conservation groups say the hunt is unnecessary. They say there are more humane methods to control the bear population. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. Coming up, U.S. military strikes on Venezuelan boats are facing new scrutiny after a second hit on survivors is raising questions about possible war crimes.
You're watching the 4 states' most watched news.
A secondary U.S. strike on a Venezuelan boat in September is now under intense scrutiny. Many lawmakers on Capitol Hill are questioning whether the strike may have been a war crime. Jen Sullivan breaks down what happened and the controversy surrounding the actions.
This video, released by the Department of Defense, captures the moment the U.S. first strikes a Venezuelan boat that the U.S. government says was carrying illegal drugs. The White House now saying that Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth authorized U.S. Navy Admiral Frank Bradley to act. While speaking at an event in California Saturday, Secretary Hegseth defended the Trump administration's actions.
If you're working for a designated terrorist organization and you bring drugs to this country in a boat, we will find you and we will sink you.
Since September, the U.S. military has destroyed 23 boats, killing at least 87 people. All say were tied to drug trafficking. Some strikes, particularly a second on this same boat, are drawing criticism.
You don't need that kind of firepower to do that tactical.
In the September 2nd attack, 11 people were reportedly on the boat. After a first strike, 2 survivors were seen clinging to the wreckage, according to some who have seen video of the full attack. Then, more strikes, killing them and sinking the vessel. It is considered a war crime to kill shipwrecked people. Now, many are scrutinizing what happened and are calling for an investigation.
These are, in my opinion, criminal actions or should be investigated as such.
Sources familiar with Bradley's remarks say he told lawmakers the small boat that was hit was heading towards a larger vessel that was bound for Suriname, a small South American country east of Venezuela, known by U.S. drug enforcement officials as a route for drugs headed to Europe. Bradley reportedly telling lawmakers the two survivors did not appear to have a radio. They watched the men struggle to overturn what was left of the boat, and there was no position to make a distress call.
There are still big questions about whether this is a legitimate approach, simply going after all manner of drug facilities.
Both the House and Senate Armed Services Committees have launched inquiries into what happened. I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
The Education Department will temporarily bring back about 250 workers placed on administrative leave last March. The department is bringing back the workers while the federal government fights efforts in the courts to cut jobs at the agency. An agency spokesperson said while that court fight plays out, it will use all of its employees to get the agency's work done. That includes several workers in the department's office and for civil rights. They received an email last Friday instructing them to return to work. The email said the workers can help with the department's caseload of civil rights complaints. The Trump administration has vowed to dismantle the Education Department. A federal judge in New York has ruled immigration officials illegally detained a grandmother for nearly 2 weeks. On Friday, the woman was ordered to be immediately released from ICE custody. Jennifer Bisram has the story.
An emotional reunion outside a federal court in Lower Manhattan Friday.
Right now, it's okay.
The smell of freedom and feeling of warm embrace by loved ones on this cold winter day, bringing Aissatou Diallo to tears.
So bad, difficult.
A federal judge ruling the beloved grandmother, who works as a home health aide, be immediately released, saying she was unlawfully detained by ICE for nearly 2 weeks. Applause filled the courtroom.
The woman that cooks, the woman that takes care of her neighbors, the woman that works as a home health aide, takes care of elderly. A woman who's full of joy.
Diallo fled her home country of Guinea around 2001, fearing political persecution. Her niece, Adama Ba, founder of the nonprofit Africana, is part of Mayor-elect Zoran Mamdani's transition team. She says she fought tirelessly with the help of immigration and community advocates to get Diallo home.
I've been doing this work for 20 years, and I'm always calling families and saying, hey, your relative has been detained. And this time it was my sister who called me and said, I think Auntie is detained.
We're told Diallo was detained at LaGuardia Airport November 25th while traveling to see her son in Texas. She was held at Federal Plaza and at facilities in Texas, Louisiana, and New Jersey. We reached out to ICE and have not heard back as of this report.
The government acknowledged in 2012 that she could not be deported to her country because she feared persecution or torture there.
There's no reason that grandmother should have been shackled in a courtroom, that grandmother should have been detained for weeks.
Ms. Diallo was lucky because she comes from a very hardy activist family.
A new chapter for a Queens woman who says she survived the storms of persecution now twice. What are you going to go home and do now?
I'm going to take a shower and pray.
Coming up, all aboard for some holiday magic. And later, hundreds of New Jersey families hopped on the Santa train today, trading a route commute for a trip to the North Pole.
It was a dreary and cloudy end to our weekend for our Sunday, but there is a change coming. If we take a look at our Skywatch Storm Tracker radar right now, there's not really much happening in our area. We're seeing just some clouds there that are lingering around that is going to eventually start to push out. We're going to see nice sunny skies by the time we get to Monday and some warmer temperatures as well. Take a look at our current temperatures. We're still on the cooler side, colder side if I want to say. Temperatures across the area, lower 30s to mid 30s, 31 there in Joplin, 34 in Grove, 33 in Anderson, 31 in Neosho. So like I said, we're still feeling colder temperatures, but we are going to have a warm up coming. Taking a look at our future track. So tonight, we're going to see some clouds, winds out of the north, bringing, just like I said, some cooler temperatures overnight. But as we get to Monday morning, temperatures are going to still hover around the mid 20s to the upper 20s. They're still going to have some clouds. Those clouds are going to dissipate as we get to Monday afternoon, about 3 p.m. We're going to warm up to about 43, 44 across the area. Nice sunny skies. It's going to feel really good having that sun out there. And as we get into Tuesday morning, morning as well, having those nice flow of southerly winds. Temperatures are going to be about the mid-30s for your Tuesday morning. But if you're planning a day in Joplin for Monday, 26 degrees at 7 a.m., sunny skies by the afternoon, warming up to that 44-degree mark about 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Downtown Joplin, Cornell and Arts and Entertainment Complex, you can see some clouds right now. Like I said, those are going to start to dissipate as we get into Monday. Let's take a look at our upper flow to see what's coming this week and why we're going to see a nice little warm-up by about Tuesday and Wednesday. So this is Tuesday. Clear, dry skies. We're going to have, like I said, a bit of a warm-up coming. This is Wednesday. This is probably going to be our warmest day of the week. Nice clear skies. We're not really having anything in our area. But then we get to Thursday. We're going to see a weak front start to push into our area. But before that pushes in, we're still going to see some nice, clear, sunny skies. Temperatures are going to still be on the warmer side, but that's going to start bringing in some colder air behind it Thursday. And into Friday is when we're going to see temperatures start to drop as a stronger front is going to push into our area, bringing back those rain and snow chances. As you can see, Saturday, strong front is in our area, possibly, like I said, bringing in some snow flurries. So we're going to keep an eye on that as the week goes. But behind that front on Sunday and into Monday, colder temperatures are going to be following, dropping temperatures overnight into the teens and even single digits for Sunday and Monday. All right, let's take a closer look. So this is Tuesday, temperatures in the mid-50s, nice sunny skies. Getting into Wednesday, our high Wednesday, lower 50s, staying on the drier side. Moving into Thursday, there's that front starting to push in, but about 4 o'clock on Thursday, still seeing temperatures in the mid-50s, and then temperatures are going to drop behind that on Friday. You can see temperatures for our highs only in the lower 30s, and then here's Saturday. You can see up there by Kansas City, there is going to be some snow up there. We'll maybe see if it drops south, but temperatures Saturday morning are going to be very cold, upper teens, and we're not going to warm up for Saturday even that much at all. Only about mid-30s, possibly, like I said, seeing some snow flurries, and then Sunday morning, temperatures are going to drop into the single digits. So for our 10-day here, I was going to say that we're actually going to see some pretty decent temperatures for our area. We're actually going to see, like I said, temperatures in the mid-50s. Sorry, it's kind of glitching out a minute right now, but there we go. There's the 10-day. It's finally working. All right, temperatures are going to be in the 50s up until we get to Friday before a cold front pushes in, but I'm going to say I'm going to be happy with those 50s.
I think we all are going to be happy with those 50s.
Definitely.
Thanks, Donald.
Of course.
Coming up, several local players earn spots on the All-COC West football teams, plus a look around the NFL and the current playoff picture for the Kansas City Chiefs. Ben McLeish has those stories and more up next in sports.
On Friday, the Seneca football team had one of its biggest days in school history. The Indians won their first state championship since 1995. Taking down Live for Life Academy 33-26 in the title game, thanks to an unstoppable rushing attack led by quarterback Brody Probert and running back Roman Miller. But the most memorable part of the season for head coach Cody Hilburn and his team wasn't the results on the field, but the full embrace from their community.
When we pulled out of town on Thursday afternoon, I don't know if there was a fire truck or a police car or any first responder still left in town, because we got this huge escort all the way out of town, and there was probably 500 people lined up on Main Street, and that just doesn't happen everywhere. They come out, and you saw that they support kids, and it's not about just football, it's anything, and that's the place you want to be, and I think that's a place you can be highly successful at.
With the end of the four states high school football season comes recognition. The All-COC West football teams were announced, and the first team offense is filled with a laundry list of local players. State runner-up Carthage has 5 guys earn the honor. Neosho has 3. Webb City has 2, and a Joplin player also earns a spot on the list. And Carthage has an even more dominant defensive showing. 7 defenders/special teamers earn the nod. The Tigers also sweep the season awards. Zane Browning is named Offensive Player of the Year. Jordan Brunert, Defensive Player of the Year, and Carthage head coach John Guidey is Coach of the Year. Well, the Kansas City Chiefs are taking on the Texans right now in a must-win matchup, but let's take a look at the results around the league today. Let's start in the AFC South, where the Jaguars and Colts face off. Trevor Lawrence has the offense clicking today. He finds Jacoby Myers in the end zone to put the Jaguars up by 7, but this was the biggest news of the game. Daniel Jones goes down. He tears his Achilles he'll be out for the season, and the Jaguars win 36-19. In snowy Buffalo, the Bills trail the Bengals by 10 points in the fourth quarter, but never count out Josh Allen. He takes off and races in for the score. And on the next possession for the Bengals in Buffalo territory, Christian Benford picks off Joe Burrow and takes it to the house for the touchdown. Bills with the comeback win 39-34. 6-6 Steelers and Ravens duel in Baltimore. Steelers up by 5 in the final seconds. Lamar Jackson running for his life. He's sacked by Alex Highsmith. And Pittsburgh comes away with the 27-22 win. The AFC West leading Broncos are tied with the Raiders in the second quarter. Las Vegas punting it away. Marvin Mims is back to receive it. An entourage of Raiders are there to tackle him, but somehow he gets away and takes it all the way for the touchdown as Denver takes down Las Vegas 24-17 to stay comfortably atop the division. Now, after failing to score any points in the first half, Kansas City has stormed back, tying it up at 10. The Chiefs' defense has dominated in the second half, but Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs continue to struggle. They've had plenty of opportunities to take control of this game. They have about 15 minutes to figure it out and save their season.
Well, Chiefs have the ball right now. You can see GEHA Field, Arrowhead Stadium right behind us. This is a live look at it, which is pretty cool. They have the ball. Fourth quarter. I mean, Chiefs season. It's on the line tonight.
Yeah, and in years past, I think most of us will look at this game and be pretty darn comfortable that Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs are going to win it. But this year, those games haven't gone their way. It didn't go their way on Thanksgiving. So they are going to need to figure it out. They've only won one score game this season.
Yeah.
They got to do it today to save their season. A loss and their playoff hopes dwindle drastically. They would need tons of help.
Absolutely. So what do you think? I mean, let's say they win today. What do you think their final season record is at the end of this season?
Gosh, if they can win today, they've got a tough schedule the rest of the way. If they win today, I'll guess 10-7.
10-7. I'm not going to say that they're going to win today, and I think they're going to go 8-9. I think the Chiefs missed the playoffs. That's all we have for now. We're right back here at 10. Have a good day. All aboard for a holiday tradition that turns a simple train ride into pure Christmas magic with hundreds of kids hopping on board the Santa train.
Come on, follow me. This way. All aboard the Santa train.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
He traded in his sleigh for steel wheels at Secaucus Junction.
They get to make out a list, pick out a present they want. They have a meal. We listen to Christmas music. We sing songs, and the kids just love it. They just love being on the train.
More than 300 children got a magical ride along the Montclair-Bouton line express to the North Pole. It's all made possible by Railmen for Children, a group of NJ Transit conductors and engineers who raise money to keep the tradition alive.
It's special, to make a difference in a kid's life. That just to see their smiles on their face, especially on the holidays.
Parents say that joy makes the season brighter.
This is their very first time on a train, so that's, I don't know. I remember the first time I was on a train. It was a trip to New York, and we saw the Muppet Babies on stage show at Madison Square Garden, and I was probably about the same age as him. So hopefully they remember this too, and this is an early formative memory,
And it looks like it's going to be a beautiful day for the children and for the families. And speaking as a parent, it just warms my heart that she's going to have this opportunity and to get to see the magic through her little eyes.
All right, like I say, one at a time, okay?
It's about more than a train ride. It's delivering hope and happiness around the holidays.
Coming up next, a metal legend is taking on Christmas. Stryper is putting a hard rock spin on holiday classics and the message they hope fans take away this holiday season. Christian heavy metal band Stryper has released its first album of Christmas music featuring a blend of original songs with traditional favorites. Rick Damigella reports.
A beautiful sight, we're happy tonight, walking in a winter wonderland.
Matt Stryper and the band's new recording of the Christmas classic Winter Wonderland. The song is part of the band's first Christmas album, The Greatest Gift of All.
We did a Christmas single back in '85, so 40 years ago. And it was so successful, and the fans seemed to really enjoy it and love that. It became a staple in our set every year. Winter Wonderland, Reason for the Season. And then people were asking us, when are you doing an album, a full-length Christmas album? And we would just tell them, someday, someday, someday.
The album features familiar Christmas songs and original compositions.
The goal was, and the thinking behind it was, to do 5 traditionals and 5 originals. And if you notice in the sequence, it's an original, a traditional, an original, a traditional. And it goes back and forth that way. And that was on purpose. Because it kind of checks all the boxes in terms of something new, something powerful, and something that really steers you in the direction of what Christmas should be about. And that's not getting caught up in the crowds or shopping and going in debt with money things you can't afford, and getting in arguments with family and over politics. It's none of the above. It's about Christ. That's what Christmas is. That's what it should be.
In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
That's been our time for tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great rest of your week.